They're extremely good milkers. They're disease resistant, they're hardy, they feed on a lot of sedges and plants that other cattle won't feed on. They're just a hardier, more prolific cow. Most of them rebreed within 30 to 60 days, so they'll live long. And that's your greatest expense, is getting a heifer to, breeding age. We feel like if we keep them pure, we sell the beef, pure Piney Woods beef, it'll generate more interest maybe. And we're working on receiving some grants through the American Livestock Breed Association. We're probably going to put these cattle back in the hands of the Gullah people off the coast of South Carolina. See, the Piney Woods cows, the Piney Woods region, stretched from South Carolina into East Texas. See, East Texas, them Texicans, it's hard for them to understand. They're Alabamians, Mississippians, and Georgians. That's where their cow herding culture came from, is the herding culture that was here. East Texas had Piney Woods cows, and we've sent herds back to East Texas to reintroduce them to their former range. The Piney Woods, just to me, the ideal cow. I can't imagine being without them. I can't imagine having anything else. I've owned other breeds and just didn't like them, and I guess I reverted back to, what my ancestors had, and that's really the only thing I'm interested in. The modern day commercial market wants an animal that can go in there, be pumped full of steroids, hormones, antibiotics. Piney Woods would be considered a primitive breed, and most, as with all primitive breeds, are slower growing. You don't have the range that you used to, and when you have to put them on pastures, you have to fertilize those pastures and maintain them heavily. And fertilizer is terribly expensive, posts, wire. Our country's sending all of our scrap iron to China, I guess, to be shot back at us. A couple of years ago, we give $60 a spool for net wire. I'm giving $160 a spool for it now. It takes 4 spools to the quarter mile stretch. Well, that's just your net wire. You're not talking about your line posts, your barbed wire that's got to be put on top of it to keep, and on the sides to keep stock from rubbing against it. It's just too expensive. People can go to town, get educations, and have expendable income. I'd love to know what expendable income is once in my life. So there's just a lot of problems now with trying to stay in it, and a lot of people just don't want to be bothered with it. And these farmers are getting out of it. They're shoving the fence rows down, selling the land for $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 an acre. New Orleans has been a godsend for me. About 5-6 years ago, I got into the grass-fed business. I was moving had a few personal customers, and Poppy Tucker came along and took me under her wing, and it's just grown phenomenally. And I just thank the people of New Orleans for their generosity, and they like the product, and I try to give them something, that, like I tell them, I eat it, and that's one thing I've always liked, to be as self-sufficient as possible. And I raise all my meat, eggs, and vegetables. About the only thing that has to be bought is sugar and flour, So it's dark because it came from a bull. Now, a bull is generally darker beef than a steer or a cow. Yeah.
And why did it come from a bull?
Because he couldn't stay out of the neighbor's drove of cow. He was a well-traveled bull. I think might near everybody along that creek has got calves out of him.
Thank you.
Thank you.